I just watched Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back earlier tonight with some friends. I've seen this movie at least a handful of times, many, many times throughout my life, but it's still really funny in a lot of ways. It has its moments. While it's definitely kind of meant for like young teenage boys, it's like that kind of humor. I still think it's very funny as an adult, and I think it's really got a lot of just goofiness in it. A lot of the obviously a lot of the dick and fart jokes, and just there are so many jokes about the View Askew-universe and Kevin Smith stuff that a lot of those jokes are kind of for the true fans of his, but it's still very funny and has just like a lot of over the top moments. I love how it's got that like Leslie Nielsen energy, like that Naked Gun kind of energy to it. Not nearly as wacky or over the top as that, but that the like that almost cartoony type of humor that is just like absolutely like ridiculous a lot of the time, especially once the orangutan comes in and it's just like and Will Ferrell's character comes in. It's just so ridiculous, but I love it. I love the goofiness and how fast this movie is. I think this movie is so well paced for a comedy. Like, it is so beat for beat and just kind of keeps moving, and you don't really, it's like, all right, that one bit didn't really, okay, that one bit is kind of dated now, or it's got that like older sense of humor that the next bit will be funnier, the next one after that. It's got so much in it. This movie's just packed with like a lot of stuff that you'll find something funny on a rewatch. I like, you'll always find something different to laugh at. I mean, at my age, I laughed at certain jokes that I probably didn't appreciate as much when I was younger, and the ones that I thought were really funny when I was younger are kind of, definitely like immature. This movie is like very immature in a lot of ways, and while I've just loved that growing up, and I still do love it at my age now, but that kind of humor definitely just hits. It hits completely differently when it's not only when you're younger, but when it's the first time you've seen it. Like, I've seen this movie, I don't know, yeah, maybe 9 or 10 times now, and like at least a handful of times, and it's just I've rewatched it so much that I can quote a lot of the scenes, and I can quote that, like that whole beginning where he's doing the fuck song. I mean, that was like a LimeWire. I remember like listening to that song and like the Click Commander. I remember downloading those on LimeWire and just like listening to them on my iPod for fun. Just like having those little sound bites of it were great. So like Jay and Silent Bob, even at the end, the very last song, Because I Got High, that was a LimeWire song too. This was kind of a part of that time where, right after this came out, a lot of stuff started getting pirated. So I think that it just kind of, I mean, that's what made me find out about it, though, or made me get more into it than I already was. I watched Jay and Silent Bob when it just popped up on Comedy Central when I was a kid. It was like the scene where the van blows up and he's yelling, like Jay is yelling justice, and then the choir starts singing. I remember just like having no context for that and thinking it was so funny, like the way that Kevin Smith looks at him as Silent Bob in the scene, like the way he looks at him so seriously when he like gets on his knees and screams. Like, it's such a ridiculous like scene to pop into without context. And I just remember, like that being on Comedy Central, and I think I watched the rest of the movie from that point on, and I was amazed at how like it was significantly better than anything else that was on TV, at least just watching, even watching just a censored version of Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. Yeah, this is one of my favorite like Kevin Smith movies, though. I still think, honestly, rewatching it, I still think, I guess, like Clerks 2 and Zack and Miri have a little bit of an edge over it, and even the original Clerks, because those movies have just such a good story. This movie is kind of like a series of bits more so than anything, or a series of like short sketches that happen to be, it's got that beauty of the road trip story, where road trip stories always work on screen and just in general, because road trips offer up, like, you can have so many different scenarios and so many different things happen, and it's like, oh yeah, they're on their way to LA, or they're on their way to the place, and you can just kind of I mean, literally throw in whatever you want. So, Jay and Silent Bob on the road. I wish the reboot was as funny as this. I wish the reboot like just had as much personality as this one does. No, and I keep saying it. It's probably keep repeating myself saying this, but I know it's kind of like it was kind of just a for the fans kind of movie or a greatest hits thing, if you will. However, I guess I was just really hoping it would be a lot more like this in terms of funny and comedy and wackiness. I mean, Chris Rock's moments as a director are funny as fuck. Ben Affleck is pretty funny. Jason Lee playing a couple different characters, Brody and the other guy, I forget his name. But it's just so good. It's so funny. And I really, again, I think because I've seen it so many times, it's hard to, this is why I try to not rewatch stuff so much, is because like this movie, it's still funny to me, but it's not, because I know the movie like the back of my fucking hand. I don't, it just doesn't hit the same as when when I was younger and I was only watching it for the first few times. Either way, though, it's still enjoyable. I'll watch this movie over any other movie. This is a comfort movie for me, honestly. I could see myself throwing this on and just falling asleep to it because I love the, like, just obviously the nostalgia I have for it in the 2000s, but just the vibe of this movie is so carefree, and you can just kind of like escape into it because of that kind of very exaggerated type of story and exaggerated humor and all of that, and it's just wonderful. I really love it. It's crazy that Jason Mewes was apparently like using a lot of heroin around the time, and it was like really like a lot of his like horror, like it's like his worst like issues with drugs in his past were happening at the time of this movie. But either way, this is one of my favorite Kevin Smith films. I love Shannon Elizabeth; she's beautiful, and just all the women, in that group, Eliza Dushku and all of that, like Kevin Smith's wife, they're all such beautiful ladies, and it's so lovely to see just all the cameos in general. This movie, you guys got fucking Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher, all of his favorites. I can't imagine how much he must have been nerding out and just loving his life in the moment of like, fighting Mark Hamill with a lightsaber or whatever the hell, and like doing like recreating a thing as if he's like Luke Skywalker. It's just got so much of Kevin Smith's personality in it. Obviously, it's such a Kevin Smith over the top kind of movie, and I really wish I would love to see him make another movie like this. In all honesty, I'd love to see him make another movie that's just goofy and stupid, because that's funny, and it's not like he has this kind of budget anymore. But either way, this is a lovely flick. I'm gonna go get high and watch some other stuff now. But Jay and Silent Bob is one of my favorites. It's an all-time classic. Check it out if you haven't. I'm surprised if you haven't. Have a good one, everybody. Love you.